In this video, I'd like to discuss dialogue journals, one of my favorite instructional methods for improving writing with my English learners. Today, I'll talk about the benefits and challenges of implementing dialogue journals and my experience using them both in in-person classrooms and virtual one-on-one tutoring. So first, what are dialogue journals? Dialogue journals are regular, ongoing written communications between a learner and a teacher or other writing partner. They can be used with very young learners who are emergent writers to adult learners of any proficiency level. A learner writes an entry with or without a prompt, the teacher gives a written response, and the process repeats. One important aspect of dialogue journals is that they are not corrected. How frequently your students write in their dialogue journals will depend a lot on your educational setting. If you have a small group of learners that you meet every day, you could make this a daily activity. However, if you have a larger group of learners, you may choose to do this once a week because of the time demands required for writing out responses. What are the benefits of dialogue journals? Dialogue journals allow your community of learners to engage in risk-free writing. Because dialogue journals are not corrected or graded like other assignments, students don't feel pressure to only use words and sentence patterns that they have mastered. They are more likely to try invented spellings and use language more creatively to express their ideas. Your learners will see writing in a more positive light because they are choosing what to write about. They get to demonstrate their own expertise on a subject, they get to share their own life experiences, and they get to be seen and they get to be heard. All of this builds relationships with your students and helps them feel a sense of belonging in your classroom. Dialogue journals serve as a formative assessment. Student errors are not marked in their entries, but teachers can address student errors through mini lessons and centers to give students the extra instruction they need to internalize correct language forms. Dialogue journals are also a portfolio of student growth. You can look back at earlier entries with your students and show them how much they have grown as writers over the course of the school year. The biggest challenge of starting dialogue journals is that writing responses is time-consuming. If you have a lot of students, you may need to do dialogue journals less frequently or enlist the help of another adult in the building to help write responses. When I tried dialogue journals for the first time with elementary-aged English learners, I presented my community of scholars with a stack of new notebooks, some markers, a variety of stickers, and gave them directions to design their own covers and make them their own. I explained what the purpose of the journal was and told them that they could write to me about whatever they would like. However, I included a few prompts on the board in case. I told students to write for 10 minutes and not to worry about spelling or grammar in their writing. I started dialogue journals for the first time with a group of high school age students on a different side of the planet almost the same way. But I didn't give them any stickers to use for their journal design. With both groups, I would typically devote time at the start of the week as a sort of bell work activity and try to have a written response by midweek, so at that point they could read and digest what I had written and write out their responses the following Monday. On the online language learning platform I currently teach on, I have a handful of students I am doing dialogue journals with. For my secondary aged and adult students I'm doing dialogue journals with, we simply take turns typing on a shared Google Doc. My students will do a journal entry a day or two after our class, and I will respond to them before the following class. With my younger students on the platform I am doing dialogue journals with, I have them write out a response in a physical notebook and their parents send me a picture of their entry. I upload this entry into our Google slideshow for the lesson and have them read it to me. And I have a typed out response which I read out on the following slide. Are you currently using dialogue journals in your educational setting? Let me know in the comments how they are working out for you and how your community of learners responds to them. If this video motivates you to implement dialogue journals, let me know how it goes. Thank you for joining me here today. See you in the future.